Jackson.
That would have been the difference in a win and a loss. Again, we all have our little.
And he could have put Chris Givens in, and it would have been
won. Right.
Ellington. I mean, are you? What?
We all have our different theories when it comes to fantasy gods and how much they affect things and whatnot and percentages and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, he's lost what? 15 of his last 17.
A lot.
And some of that is on you, and this is a perfect example.
Not me.
No,
him.
You, Jay Young.
Yes.
Right, yes. Some of that is on him, sorry. And this is a perfect example. I mean, I can understand starting either Ray Rice or Pierce, but both of them, I don't know. I don't know.
Silly.
And Jay Young, actually, speaking of all this losing, he is now last in Era 2 of active teams in winning percentage.
And that's not including after a loss in a week that he scored less than 75 points against an opponent who had previously beat him the time before.
That's not true, but nice try. Hong Kong Cavaliers is no longer in last in the Era 2.
You know what, let's give it up for Matty
Chuck, you deserve it.
Give it up for Matty Whiff.
He deserves it. And I said active teams. There's actually one no longer active team.
It's got to be Die Hard.
Great. I was hoping you were going to guess that. You are correct, because I know you brought that up a couple of weeks ago. Damn it, Jinx. He's the worst in the era of all teams that's ever played in this league. All right, and then the last game, or second last game, was Hong Kong defeating the Boston Loggers. That was a big game there, 134-99. Ben again, does not top that 100-point marker. He drops down to 2-2, and Hong Kong standing strong here at 4-0. This is his fourth win in a row, obviously, and that's actually the longest winning streak his franchise has ever had. Bob, if you take a quick look at Hong Kong's schedule, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh yeah.
When do you? I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong when you look it up. I think he has a couple of cupcakes coming up. I think he's definitely probably going to go 6-0 at least, assuming nothing crazy happens.
I think he has me coming up. I think.
Yeah.
He has me now.
He's playing you this upcoming week,
and then Brutal,
that week. So we're looking at probably 6-0,
and then Philly T.
Okay, so that could be a good game.
Scoop. Scooper Poopers.
When do you think he'll lose? If you were to predict, when will his first loss be?
Ooh, well, it's tough to say with buys, but I'm gonna say. You know what? No. I'll say week 9. Handy Quacks.
Week 9? Okay. All right. So you think he'll go 8-0,
Yep.
and then lose in week 9 to Handy Quacks.
Yep.
All right. Well, we shall see. And then the last game was the Pig Newtons defeating yourself, Bubblegum Shrimp, 98-76. I know there was a little bit of Twitter talk by you, Bub. You actually thought you were going to win.
I thought I had it. Antonio Gates just took that knife and wrenched it into my heart.
Right into your heart. Yep. Didn't stop jabbing it in there.
Nope.
And
That's what she said.
Phil goes up to 3-1, and some of our old time fantasy dynasty coaches that have been around for a while. We remember Coach Phil when he was dominant in Era 1, Hall of Fame enshrined and whatnot. Obviously, he's been a little up and down here in Era 2, but last year and then so far this year, he's kind of been doing fairly well. And he's brought up his Era 2 record now up to 500.
Good.
To 32-32. So, hey, he may end up this era, depending on what happens the rest of the way, as at least a quote-unquote winning era for him.
I'd like to point something out, Eric.
Absolutely.
Nothing to do with Coach Phil, so I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Don't you dare apologize again for interrupting. I welcome that.
Johnny C., I hope you're listening.
I'm sure he is. He's an avid listener. Thank you, Johnny C., for always listening and participating.
If you ever want to gripe about the Dynasty, take a look at your sketch.
Capital T, capital D.
You have 13 of 15 games away. You are the visiting team.
I'd like to.
13 of 15 games.
I would like to say something about that.
Both home games against the Handy Quacks.
I would like to say something about that, but I don't know if you guys all know the internal process of how the schedule is determined. Basically, Bub figured it out.
Handy Quacks has 15 away games.
Let me finish. Bub figures out the schedule. He provides it to me, and I just go in and I put it in. Usually, I spend 2 hours trying to just figure out making sure everyone has 7 home games, 8 away games or whatever. This year I'm like, who the fuck cares? Who cares who's really home and away? So I think I basically made all the north away for the most part and all the south home most of the time. So that's the reason for it. If you guys
No,
Maybe is that a
not
pet
at all.
peeve? Is that
no,
a pet peeve?
No, it's not.
All right,
I just thought it was funny.
I didn't want to spend a lot of time doing that for no reason.
No, I just thought it was funny.
Bob, you got your 6th loss in a row here, spanning back to last season.
I expect to go 0-15.
Longest losing streak for your franchise.
That's okay.
You're okay with that?
And I feel like there's a applicable Batman quote.
Can I guess?
Yeah, I don't even know
I'm
what
literally
it is.
raising my hand right
Yes,
now.
try to guess, please.
All right. My favorite Batman quote of all time comes from Batman Begins, which is, and I wish I YouTubed it and we could play
That's
it. But,
okay.
it is, why do you fall down? To learn how to pick yourself back up.
That's very applicable. Actually,
maybe a paraphrasing. I mean, not
no, that's actually
perfectly.
and I was actually gonna. I would just one popped in my head. What is it? Something is darkest before the dawn.
Sure.
I think it's in The Dark Knight.
Batman Begins 9.5, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises 10s. Continue.
Yes.
We can double check my list.
So anyway, my point was that it's okay if I go 0-15. I'm okay with that because I know next year I'm gonna win all those games back.
All right. Well, you did say in the beginning of the season that you were expecting to be, competing, and that your coaching ability would.
You said that.
No. I asked you in the Keeper Selection Show specifically if you think that your coaching ability can overcome the loss of draft picks and that you can at least compete, and you said yes.
I think you.
Don't you
put
put words in my mouth?
I think you backed me into a corner.
Certainly did not.
However, that was also before I traded away my 4th, my 5th, my 6th, my 7th.
Yeah, I guess, but still, you're silly. Bob.
I'm gonna tell you what. I think I'm doing a fairly good job with the
what you got?
riffraff that I have.
Yeah, well. Your breakdown record is certainly interesting. Have you seen?
I think
we've had some interesting breakdown records in the last few years between the Wills and the Iron Dog Jeff Guards and the Withens of the world, with their bad seasons. But you're on track for quite
1-43, I think.
And can you I think it's 1-40. Yeah, 1-43. And can you? I know we go through this every year. Can you just quickly let our listeners know what the breakdown record is again?
Yes. The breakdown is if you played every other team that week. So if you score the most points in the week, your breakdown record for that week would be 11-0 because you would have beaten every other team.
Right.
For me, for example, I'm 1-43. That means there's only one team in the 4 weeks that I would have beaten, and that was Phil in week 1.
1-43. So that you're on track to be what, Bob? Quick math here.
Multiplied by, it's too hard because you got to multiply by 4 1/4.
So
I mean 3 3/4. So probably my breakdown should 5 wins. Let's call it
5 and what?
Oh, geez. 15 times 11 is 165. Minus the 5.
That's bad.
So 5 and 160.
That's bad. I don't care what. With free agents, you should do better than that.
I'm trying.
I'm calling you out.
I'm doing my best.
Bad. You're bad.
Stop everything. Seek shelter. Run for the hills. We have ourselves breaking news from the world of the Dynasty.
So, Bub, we got ourselves another minor trade. Last week we had another, relatively minor trade. And we have another minor trade here. No blockbusters yet. Nothing big yet.
Nothing big.
Maybe on the horizon, but not quite yet. So Solglow, he receives tight end Martellus Bennett and a 10th round pick from Hong Kong, who are, they're trading partners, those two. They like to trade a lot. And Hong Kong gets tight end Kyle Rudolph and a 9th round pick. Bub, what do you think?
Next.
Now, let's take a look into the future with next week's matchups.
So, Bub, we got another outer divisional matchups here in week 5. So let's go ahead and run through them. Obviously, feel free to let me know if you got anything to say about them.
Sure.
The first game, a couple of just 4 founding fathers here of the Dynasty. A couple of teams that have been in this league from the very beginning. Again, this is a celebratory season, Bub. Let's not forget about that. I feel
what season is this?
This is the 10th
of the Dynasty.
This is the 10th season. I feel like we've forgotten a little bit about that. Let's all take a second and just think about that. That's crazy.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, thank
thought
you.
about it.
Thank you. So the Riverdale Scoopers 3-1 going up against the Pig Newtons at 3-1. Couple 3-1 teams going up against each other. I'm 6-3 all time against Coach Phil.